Well, hello, YouTube. It's been a while, I know. I get so many messages and everyone asking me where I am in life and what I'm doing. And everyone always asks me so many questions about my love life, about when I got jumped by those idiots. I don't want to get too much into that because then I'll get banned from me. Um, yeah, so I've just been doing not much, eh? It's been training, working, and I thought I'll get on here and I'll have a little yarn with you guys, have a little chat. It's been a while. Where do I start? Where do I start? Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start. I've been getting a lot of proposals and doing co-hosting and getting back in social media life, and I don't know how to tell you the truth what I'm going to do. I've just been focused on work and my son, and I've gone for a breakup with my recent girlfriend. That was pretty public as well on TikTok and Instagram. I was pretty active on there the last few months, but even there I've taken a back seat. And I keep getting asked about when I got jumped in the Gold Coast by those idiots and what happened that day and that. I'll touch on that a little bit now because I've been asked so many times what happened that day and I haven't addressed it properly. I've just been like, yeah, I haven't really addressed it, but I'm going to address it now. I was at a point in my life where I was the last couple of years working, and that's it really, just working and staying out of trouble and staying away from the gang life and staying clear from everyone. And I sort of got too comfortable in a sense, and I forgot who I was. And I dropped my guard. And I got no one to blame but myself. I should have always been on guard, and I should have always been ready, and I should have always been prepared for an ambush the way I got ambushed by those group of idiots. And I'll tell you what happened that day. So I got a phone call early in the morning, I think around 7 o'clock if I recall, and I was living in the Gold Coast. And this guy goes to me, do you want to go for a ride today? And I said, where at? And he goes, oh, it's a social ride. It's going to be a few people there, maybe a couple of hundred bikes. It'll be a good day. I said, yeah, why not? I said, at that point, I didn't think I had a drama with anyone because the national leader of that gang reached out to me and said he had no drama with me and it was all good and this and that, and he had forgotten about what happened in Bali and there was no issue. Was it Bali or Thailand? I don't know, one of those Asian countries. Years ago, I had a run-in with a couple of them, and I was at a point in my life then where I was living a bad life, and they were with their girlfriends, and I was with more boys than them, and I had a blade on me, and I put on a few of them. I was that point I was at fault 100%, but you know they're cowards anyway for what they did later on anyway, because when I approached them in overseas, it was fair game anyway, because there's no law there, there's nothing. We could have handled it both. I'm sure they had something on them too. They just didn't want to go on with it. And I'm not going to get into all that. Let's just, 1 sec, sorry. I can hear some screaming outside. Let me just check my cameras. I don't know what the hell that screaming is. I think my neighbours are losing it. But you know, so this is what happened. And mind you, the guy that was with me was a cage fighter and supposedly a machine of a fighter. I've seen all these fights in videos and he could handle himself. But I'm not dirty on him for running and leaving me because he's not a gangster, and he actually, let's get into what happened. So I'll tell you about why I'm not dirty on him as I tell you the story. So anyway, I get to a point where I'm just living a normal life. In my head, I forgot who I was. I was, all the violence and everything that I've done in my life over the last 25 years, I tried to forget it. And I tried to convince myself I'm not a violent person anymore and I'm a different person, this and that. And I just let myself go. I wasn't training. I hadn't had a fight in years. It was years before I had a fight. So I was rusty, and obviously I wasn't the man I used to be. at that point when I got jumped. So anyway, I get to this first destination, and I'm not going to say his name and that. I don't want to say his name's a piece of, you know what. I'm going to keep it where I don't want these videos to be removed. I'm going to keep it civil and just talk reasonably. You've all heard me on social media how I talk about these guys. And at this point, I want to tell the story, so I don't want to get into swearing about anyone. I just want you all to understand, because I keep getting asked a million times what happened that day and why didn't I put up a fight. And people that know me said, bro, what happened that day? We know you as a different type of person. And fair game. So I get to the first destination, and the main guy that jumped me was there. And at that point, there's no issue between us. I don't know this guy. He's from a different generation, so now he's running this bikie gang. I don't think he's high up. I don't know what the fuck he is, to tell you the truth. Excuse my language. I don't know what he is. But this guy, big guy, not a small guy at all. He's all seen the news how big they all were. It was all over the news. There was 5 of them. They were all gorillas. So anyway, I get to the first destination. It was under a bridge, and I couldn't find it. And then the guy was telling me how to get there. Right, it took me 20 minutes to find it. I finally find it. I get there, get off the bike. My mate comes up to me, hugs me, shake his hand. I say hello to a few boys that I'd met on rides prior, just normal guys. And then I seen across the road that guy and his mate. Those 2 guys jumped me 2 hours later with another group of guys. So we're staring at each other, and I felt something was wrong. My mate goes to me, bro. He told me what gang he was with, because he's seen it on his bike. He had it all over his seat and on the side of the bike, the stickers. And my mate goes, bro, what's the name from rah-rah? And I said, yeah, well, what's his problem? I just kept looking at him. So I ended up having an encounter with him there, and I said to him, I walked up to him and said, brother, you keep staring at me. What's the problem? I don't know you from bar of soap. What's the problem? He goes, you got a problem with me? I said, fuck, I got no problem with you. I said, I don't know you. You're staring at me. You got a problem with me? At that point, we're both squared up in front of each other. We could have had it out there and there, straight out. Who would have won? I don't know. He was a big boy. He's probably in his prime, training. He's in that mindset. I'm at that point where, not making excuses, but I'm a different person at that point. The old me would have dealt with it differently. He would have been laying in a pool of, you know what, and it would have been different. I wouldn't have been the way I was there, not ready and unarmed, being straight out with you. I would have been armed with something. I wouldn't have went somewhere without nothing on me. You know what I mean? Straight out. I would have had some form of, whatever it may be, but something would have enhanced the situation, and he would have been in a ton of fucking trouble. And I'm not talking about them. It could have been anything else. You know what I mean? It could have been anything. I'm not referring to that. And let's get back to what I'm saying. So he said he's got no drama. I said, I've got no drama with you. I walk back. I stay there for another 20 minutes. We all agree we're going to go to the next destination and pick up the rest of the people that were going on the ride. I didn't know at this point this guy's got dirty and messaged his boys to gather up, meet at the Bunnings. So we get to the Bunnings. As soon as I pull in, I seen heads everywhere. There was another gang there. I'm not going to say their name either. So in total, there was about, I'm pretty sure, 12, 13 of them. Anywhere from 10 to 13. I don't know how many it was. There's a group of them. I parked the bike. I get off. I've looked over. I thought, here we go. I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. And then my mate with me goes to me, let's just get out of here. And then I looked at him. I said to the words to the effect, I think was, bro, if you want to go, you got to go. I can't take off. My brother, if I take off, my brother's he's gonna send me to the next world straight out. I can't. I get jumped. What can I do? And he was like freaking out. He's like, bro, I'm not a bikie. I'm not in this scene. I said, bro, you don't have to back it up. Just leave. He sticks around. I stick around. Next minute, about 20 minutes goes by, and then we're all gathering up to leave. And that's when I think 4 or 5 of them, yeah, it would have been 4 or 5 of them, walked up to me. And when they walked up, I remember I think I said to the words of the effect, your leader said, we're sweet, what's going on here? And a bit taken back and a bit shocked that this is happening when I thought we got no dramas. I'm thinking, I'm going to be in a ton of a situation here. These guys are probably all armed. That's what I thought. I thought the guys that came for reinforcements, I didn't see nothing, but I figured they're all armed up. The ones that never approached. Because I had a backpack, so I think he might have thought that maybe I had something on me. That's what I think's happened when I first approached him earlier. I think he thought I had something on me, so he's told his boys, bro, this bloke's a maniac. He's got something on him. Meet me down here, rah, rah. So he's approached. So first thing I thought, the ones that haven't approached me, obviously armed up. They got hoodies on, got bandanas around them, and I knew that two of them I thought two of them were armed. And that was also process. It was all processing in my mind. It was all going 100 miles an hour. And as he walks up, one of them sneak overs me. I was dazzled, and then I just covered up like that, and then they all just started boom, 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 boom. I end up on the floor. They're all having their little crack, and then I sat up, and it's all the days, to be honest with you, after that. It's just like, you know what I mean? Words were said. I don't know what was said, to you the truth. I got up in a daze, and then I remember I got up. I didn't get straight on my bike. I ended up walking around the side because I was fucking dazed out. And I ended up calling the nomads there. And the nomads come and see me, and I was so revved up. I was immediately trying to find out where this guy, the main guy, lived. And then I couldn't find where he lived. Rang him up numerous times, and I said to him, you got me off guard, rah, rah, 1, 2, 3. He would not meet. And to this day, I've told him, yeah, I'm not in the Gold Coast no more. I'm in Maryland. Any day of the week, pull up, you and your whole gang. Anytime. I've made this to this day. I've always said, you's done me a favor, because I let myself go. I stopped training. I forgot who I was. I now are in that mindset. Yeah, I'm not in a gang no more or nothing like that. But I've got that gang mentality back in my mind, and I'm always prepared. You could pull up at midnight, at 5 in the morning, at any day of the week, and I'm ready for anything that's going to come. I learned a big lesson. Even though I'm not a gangster no more, I'm not in a gang, I stupidly need to remember who I was in these streets for many years. I was convicted of taking a life, and I terrorized these streets since I was fucking 13 years of age. I've just run amok around Sydney, and inside the prison system, I've lost count. I can't even count on 2 hands how many people I've bladed in the prison system. And I'm sure they've all got brothers and cousins that have grown up, and I've got a lot of enemies. And I'm not an idiot. I was an idiot maybe 2 years ago, thinking that I'm retired and this and that. But no, I'm going to have enemies for the rest of my life. So gang or no gang, I need to be prepared 24/7 wherever I go, no matter what. That's why I'm back into training. I box as much as I can. I do weights. I try to get active as much as I can. I went 4 years, no fighting, not active, eating junk food all day. I wasn't the person that I am now. So I just lost my way. I hadn't had a fight in so long that when they did all ambush me, they got me off guard. I just froze up and covered up and boom, boom, boom. Looked around, I thought, I haven't been bladed. I touched myself. Thank God I haven't been bladed, or I haven't been, you know what I mean? So that's that, you know what I mean? And I make this clear, crystal clear to everyone. I'm not sitting here making excuses for how it happened or whatever. I'm just telling you how it is. I ain't scared of no one. I could have ran very easily. I could have got on the bike, took off, or I could. My friend ran on camera. So if he was able to run, I would have been just as easy to run as like he ran. I could have ran straight away with him, but I couldn't run. So I'd rather, maybe you guys think, oh, why did he cover it up? Why didn't he fight them all off? Listen, you got to understand. My mindset's thinking, those 2 other boys haven't approached. They're armed because they thought I was armed earlier because of my backpack. That's why he never said nothing. He thought when I approached him, because it was tall from when I approached him, that they thought this guy's armed with something. They didn't know what, but they assumed something. So my mindset was like this. I pull in, I see that one of them had his gang shirt on, of a different gang. I know what gang this guy's in, so I'm thinking 2 gangs here, they're armed, this, that, this is all racing through my mind. I always thought I was going to get knocked, to tell you the truth. Because the other guys aren't in the camera, they don't approach. You see the 4 or 5 guys approach me and jump at me, yeah. But there was, I don't know how many, but I know, as I've glimpsed over, I seen 2 Arab-looking guys, possibly Afghans. Later on, I found out they're Afghans, because I got a lot of Afghan boys, friends. I got a lot of mates that are Afghans. And through the grapevine, I heard it was 2 Afghan boys that were standing there, and I'm pretty sure they were the ones that were armed up. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see their faces fully, but I'm pretty sure they were the ones armed up. And obviously, if I would have had anything on me, they were going to be reinforcement. That's what I gathered, because why wouldn't you have squared up with me under the bridge? He's big. They're both big boys. I walked up by myself. My mate was still behind me, 30 meters behind me, didn't even walk up with me. So obviously that's how it's panned out. And then I've got a lot of close brothers that are Afghans. And I asked all of them, they said, yeah, bro, it's these Afghan boys were there, right? Long story short, I never confirmed if they were armed or not. But yeah, so that's that. So anyone that says, bruh, this and that, or bags me out in comments, let me tell you something. My reputation speaks for itself, what I've done on these streets since I was a kid. I was the leader of the biggest Islander gang in jail, Notorious, and I was a leader of Nomads on the street. The violence that I've done in my life, none of you have ever done in your lives. I just got caught slipping. I forgot who I was for a brief moment, and I had lived up until that point for 4 years. No violence, no fighting no one, no training, nothing. It's like an engine. If you don't start it and grease it up, it stiffens up. So they got me at the weakest point of my life, and I underestimated who I was. I should have realised who it took 2 gangs that run the Gold Coast to unite and come and approach me on my own to jump me. 4 or 5 had to walk up to me. They had to have another couple armed up. That's how it panned out. So to all the idiots in the comments, and they always say, bro, this and that, why didn't you fight them all back? Brother, you don't understand. This is not me drinking at the pub, staring at some guy, and that's a different scenario. This is me analysing. There's 2 boys armed up. There's another group there. There's a group there. They're all here to ambush me. I'm dead. Let's just see how this pans out and cover up and get out of this the best I could. I have no chance to sit there and square up and, oh yeah, let's go, blah, blah, blah. There's none of that. That wasn't happening. This was, I didn't know how it was going to pan out. I thought, I'm dead, straight out. And I just thought, I need to defend myself in the sense, guard my head, my organs, just boom, boom, boom. Because I was thinking, in a minute, someone's going to run over a blade. And that's why I grappled up like that and just waited. And then when I got out of it and they left, I thought, they didn't get bladed. They didn't get that. This was God was watching out for me. You know what I mean? They're the ones have been basically hiding out since they jumped me. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, my brother has a big presence in Sydney still. He's finished parole. He's got his whole crew. You don't have to be a wise man to understand if they pop their head up in my area, how it's going to pan out. And my brother has put the word out to him. When we see yous, we'll see. Let me cross paths with yous anyway. And you know what I mean? And I say the same thing. If I cross paths with them anywhere, yeah, we'll deal with it. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still not going to ever forget. I'm not looking for yous, but when we cross paths one day, and you know, hopefully I see yous is one out on your own, and I'm one out, and I'll say, let's go. You know what I mean? Shirt off, hands up, let's fucking sort it out. You know what I mean? But that's that. And we'll deal with that when the time comes and we cross paths. Until then, you can keep thinking he's had the last laugh. And yeah, enjoy. Let's just pray that you don't cross paths with me somewhere for your own sake. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. I'm thinking about getting back on YouTube, doing some interviews. I might go on people's podcasts. I've been asked to come on a lot of podcasts. I might go on some, I don't know. Or I might start bringing people to me, doing interviews. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. But I just wanted to address this because I'm sick of people saying, you guys, I tell you how this life works. I put 20 hard years into these streets and into the prison system. I built a name where the fear would be, if I'd ring you, your heart would sink. And people forget that by me getting jumped by 4 or 5 cowards. I don't understand that. That's what makes me think in life. This life is rubbish. You build your whole life up on these streets, and just like that, people forget what you're capable of or what you've done in your life. But I don't need to get into all that. The real gangsters in this country have said to each other, mate, they caught that bloke unarmed, vulnerable as on his own. There was a whole fucking group of them in the area. That could happen to anyone. The real people, the real men in this country that are proper gangsters, they know they could have been in that predicament very easily, ambushed by 4 or 5 guys. A couple of them are staying away, haven't approached. Obviously, they're armed up, ready to come in if I pulled something out and get me from the back or side on. Or if I start putting up a fight, they're just going to let it off at me. Probably. That's how I think it was going to pan out. So my best bet was I just got to just cover it up and just see how it goes. I just thought, what can I do? They're armed up. These guys have jumped me. They're armed. I'm gone. But people don't understand that. But anyway, that's that. Moving forward, I might come back onto YouTube, as I said. I might start doing interviews. I might start talking about what's happening in the world, what's happening with the gangs in Sydney, what's happening all across Sydney. It's been torn upside down. There's a lot of dangerous men running around this Sydney and doing things. I don't know who they are, but Sydney's a different playing field, and I think Sydney's a very dangerous place, and I think there's some serious crews out here now running these streets, and I think they're good luck to them. You know what? Good luck to them. They're all fucking men, and they're all doing what they got to do, and they're all the real deal. Obviously, look what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I would like to get into that and talk about all that stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to say, oh, this guy, that guy, and start naming people's names and bringing heat to people. I'm not going to do all that. But I will talk in a way where you will understand who I'm talking about and my theory on this and my theory on that without actually saying people's names. But the people will understand who I'm talking about and all that. And I don't want to really start unnecessary dramas with people that aren't my enemies. No issue with them. Why would I start saying this name and that name and then putting a target on my back and creating a drama for my brother? My brother's off parole now and he's back on these streets and he's not doing nothing, but he's got his crew back together and he's still involved in the bikie life in a sense. And he's a madman too, so I don't want to be in a predicament where I bring him into a drama. I don't want to do that, you know what I mean? So I will be wise when I talk about things, and I'm not a disrespectful person and start talking about this crew and that crew and talk shit. I'm going to put my proper input on things. And yeah, but there's nothing really to say anyway about it, to tell you the truth. Fucking, yeah, but I just wanted to address that. And I hope to see you all soon. I thought it's been enough time past. I needed to address this, and I have. So I love you all, and hopefully I'll be back on social media very soon. Until then, I love you all.